Thanks for joining us today. My name is Morgan Miller. I am one of the admissions advisors here at Niagara University. Some of you guys are actually some of my kids, so nice to see you guys. I hope that everybody is staying safe and healthy. And I just want to congratulate you guys on your acceptance. Thank you for coming to visit with us today on this nice afternoon. I will just give you guys just a few housekeeping items. So just a reminder that this session is being recorded, so you can always come back and rewatch it. Another thing is to have yourselves muted if you're not speaking. And then if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to add them into the chat box. And then we will have a ton of time for Q&A to go over anything that you guys might have questions or just need maybe some clarification on. And then after that, I can stay on if you have some individualized, personalized questions. I can stay on and you and I can just talk one-on-one. But I do encourage you guys to use the chat window. And then if you guys don't have questions, then we'll sort of facilitate our own that we get most often. So now we're just going to do some introductions, some overviews, and then we'll be on our way. So I'm going to now send it over to Mark Stewart, and he'll just introduce himself, and then we'll go on from there. All righty?
Hey, I'm Mark Stewart. I'm a Senior Assistant Director here at Niagara U, and I help all the Canadian students. So if there's any Canadian students here, you're probably pretty familiar with me, but yeah, glad to have you.
Awesome. Megan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Megan. I'm a senior at Niagara. I'm studying biology with concentration in bioinformatics with minors in chemistry and leadership.
Great. Awesome. Pete, would you like to go next?
Sure. Congratulations, everybody, on your acceptance to Niagara University. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us for a real informal chat. So I'm currently Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences here, longtime psychology professor too, so I could sort of field questions from the psychology perspective or general overall questions about how our college operates. I really wanted to just emphasize three aspects of the College of Arts and Sciences for you to think about as you're making your choices about colleges now. The first point would be diversity. College of Arts and Sciences is home to 38 undergraduate majors, over 50 academic minors, 3 master's programs, and several accelerated 4+1 and 4+2 programs. That diversity is reflected in students who attend these open houses, and you're no exception. So we have majors in the social and behavioral sciences. That includes psychology, criminology and criminal justice, social work, political science, among others. Majors in the natural and physical sciences, chemistry and biochemistry, biology and life sciences, environmental sciences and biotechnology, mathematics and computer information science, and the humanities, communication and media studies, history, English, theater studies, modern languages, to name a few. So a wide range of diversity here in the College of Arts and Sciences. The second point I wanted to speak to really are our faculty. The College of Arts and Sciences is home to highly credentialed faculty, outstanding educators, nationally and internationally recognized scientists and scholars who take teaching and learning seriously. For example, faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences have won Niagara's Excellence in Teaching Award 24 out of the last 27 years, right? So data like that speaks about the quality of our faculty. So I would put our faculty up against faculty at any university. The R1 universities like UB, University of Rochester, Syracuse, and the more selective liberal arts schools like Colgate, Hamilton, and Hobart and William Smith. And the final point I wanted to talk about this evening and have you reflect on is accessibility and student-faculty interactions. Our faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences are accessible. They're engaged with students on campus in a variety of ways. During your time at Niagara University, you'll have the opportunity to work with the professor on a research project and present that research at regional and international meetings and conferences. You'll work with professors as part of your internships, as all departments in the College of Arts and Sciences offer internships where students earn academic credit for the work they complete at off-campus sites. And internships are a key part of our pre-health program, where students interested in healthcare work side by side with medical professionals in Erie and Niagara County. And that's just scratching the surface on the kinds of student-faculty relationships that you'll be able to develop as a student here on Monteagle Ridge. So once again, congratulations on your acceptance. Thank you for joining us here this evening for informal chat and Q&A. And I'm now going to turn the program over to my colleague in the chemistry department, Dr. Mary McCourt.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. And again, I want to also say congratulations for your acceptance. I'm hoping to see all of you in the fall. I'm a professor of chemistry, and I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about the importance of research in the student experience. In my lab, for example, we have about 10 to 12 students that are carrying on research. The lab has produced 4 US patents, 12 international patents. Our students are getting international recognition for their presentations at conferences, and the work that we're producing is being done by undergraduates in the lab. It's a wonderful learning environment. I really know the students. They get to know me maybe more than they want to, but we learn from each other. We learn from each other. So if anyone has questions about chemistry or biochemistry or some of the other sciences, I'd be glad to answer them. And I think Adriano is next.
Myself. There we go. Hey, everybody. How are you? My name is Adriano Gatto. I'm the artist in residence and head of recruitment for the Department of Theater and Fine Arts. Actually, I should say our entire department and all of our faculty are currently attending our virtual banquet and dishing out a whole slew of awards and scholarships for our current students, and also introducing one of the newest additions to our faculty, Dr. Dave Peterson. We're super, super excited. He's going to be joining us as he's a professor, doctor, PhD of theater history and dramaturgy. And he's just an extraordinary talent in addition to our department. What I teach for our department, and what I teach is stunt work. No lie. I'm a certified fight instructor internationally, and I teach stunt work and stage combat to all of our students in the department. So we work regularly with swords and other theatrical weapons, but it's pretty rare that a program has an international relationship with a lot of those unions. So we're proud as a binational institution to be doing that. And I'll leave it at that. And then what other questions come up, I'll go from there.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody. So now this is really just the informal time where you guys can ask as many questions as you'd like, whether it's related to your major or just about the university as a whole. And we are here just to sort of answer them. I'll be able to facilitate them and sort of give them possibly to the correct person that can answer. But while we're waiting, I will ask, I know Adriano sort of touched on this a little bit, so I'll go over to Dr. P. Pitera. Do we have a lot of students within the College of Arts and Sciences who are able to do study abroad or have a binational experience within your college?
Sure, I can speak to that. This is a really challenging time, obviously, to be doing a study abroad, and many universities have to really scramble to, bring their students back, especially some of the larger universities with a lot of students over there. We were fortunate. We didn't have a lot of students in some of the harder hit areas, so it wasn't really a problem for us. But study abroad, at the end of their 4 years here, that's one of the themes that emerges when we survey our graduating seniors about their study abroad opportunities. Study abroad opportunities are what many people think of as like you go for a semester abroad, right? And you can spend a semester abroad in Australia, for example, or in Spain. And for many students, that's kind of challenging on a number of fronts. You might not be able to take that much time off and complete your degree in 4 years, and there's expenses that are involved. So what's been happening in the College of Arts and Sciences has been a faculty-led program where the study abroad is incorporated into a class the student is taking. So for example, you could be taking a criminal justice course on comparative justice, and the last 2 weeks of the semester are spent in Ireland, for example, learning about the criminal justice system in various towns around Ireland. So it really is a learning experience. It's not just being a tourist. These are faculty-led trips, and students are really getting into the culture. They're getting into the real study abroad experience by partnering with faculty members in those, again, semester or faculty-led study abroads that are part of a course. So students have a choice in for example, a religious studies course called Art and the Vatican. So that's a religious studies course. The students get academic credit. They spend the last 2 weeks in Rome, at the Vatican and Florence as well. So a lot of students take advantage of those faculty-led study abroads rather than the traditional semester abroad experience. But that's certainly an option too.
Yeah, we have, for the Department of Theater and Fine Arts, we actually now have 2 study abroad opportunities. Maureen Stevens, who's an associate professor of costume design and technology, sort of teamed up with Marilyn Dayton from Art History Museum Studies, and they go to Italy. I believe, Pete, it's the same amount of time at the end of the semester or just after, a few weeks to sort of cap up that class.
That's right. Thanks for pointing that out. That's right.
Yeah. They also go to Italy.
That's a brand new one.
Yeah. And then the theater department, we also have 7-week study abroad that most students tend to take between their junior and senior year. They study a number of major requirements there, like usually it's contemporary British theater, Elizabethan drama, and then a scene study acting class that they take with our faculty over there. And that program was crafted specifically for our students. No other students at any other university takes our program. It's not like RADA or AMDA, where they take students from all over the country and other different programs. It's a program designed specifically for our students by our faculty here and our colleagues in London. Part of that also, I have to mention, just as a wonderful experience with the activities fee in that study abroad, is usually tickets to see 3 to 4, sometimes 5 shows per week on the West End, and also a trip to Stratford-upon-Avon, the home of the Royal Shakespeare Company and William Shakespeare, and a couple other day trips here and there. So I will say Niagara University has always had extraordinary study abroad opportunities, as Dr. Butera mentioned. So just wanted to add to that.
Thank you. That's awesome. So this can be really for any of you guys. What are the different clubs that, if I am a student, that I can get involved in, or that you might suggest for me to get involved in, that are related to my major, whether it's in arts and sciences or theater, or even if I wanted to do just like a biology club? Are there different ones that I can get involved in and sort of connect with my peers on that level as well?
I can start. So there are, I believe, over 90 different clubs currently active on campus, and many of them are associated with different majors. So I've been part of biology club for the past 4 years, and what we do in that club depends on the year. And we start by gathering information what the people in the club want to do. So they're very customizable depending on who's in the club. So we've gone actually into schools in Niagara Falls and taught little labs for them to learn different scientific ideas, things like that. But we've also done different fundraising. We've also, one big thing I know in the chemistry department that I'm sure Dr. McCourt can talk more about is our celebrations for not Pi Day. Mole Day. Thank you. And so like I was part of that. Even though I'm a bio major, I was also a part of that. So there's a lot of opportunities to kind of cross into different areas and see what other people are interested in as well, which I always highly encourage, because that was fun. I got to shoot off some bottle rockets, which is always fun. But I do know there's clubs for each major, and that always changes like what you're doing.
Yeah, I will add to that. You know, usually in the first, sometimes second week of school, is typically a clubs and activities fair, and it's usually right outside the Gallagher Center. And every single club and every single organization, whether it be intramural sports or recreation or academic clubs or whatever that may be, are all in one place at one time. And a lot of times in our orientation classes that we take, Niagara University Beginnings, NU Beginnings, which you'll all take, one of the activities that we usually require is attending the Campus and Activities Fair. Why? Because we want you to see how many options, how many different opportunities you'll have to get involved. You know, if you come in and you're, let's say, one major, but you have an extracurricular interest that you had in high school that you really want to maintain, there's a club for it. I'm sure there is. And if there isn't, you can talk to the folks at Campus Activities and Student Life and say, hey, how do I start a club? And you can do it. So there's so many opportunities, and the clubs and activities fairs, I think, is a great way to discover them once you're here.
You know, so coming from psychology, there are two student clubs there. There's our psychology club and Active Minds. Active Minds is a national organization for mental health awareness. So students in those clubs, whether it's in psychology, whether it's in chemistry, communication media studies, they become the leaders. So they're responsible for organizing meetings. They collaborate with the faculty moderator, of course, on programming events. Active Minds is an annual Stomp Out Stigma for mental health awareness. A lot of advocacy programs as well. Our social work department also has a strong student club, and relatively new to Niagara University, or newly revived, I should say, is our student newspaper. So the Niagara Wire is a student-run paper where the writers, the staff, the editors are all NU students. They're gaining great experience in that environment. And again, working with faculty moderators on that. So if you're interested in writing, you don't have to be a journalism major or communication media studies. If you're interested in athletics, entertainment, you name it, get involved with the Niagara Wire. A wonderful experience. And some of you may be coming from that background in high school, perhaps, and you want to kind of further that in your NU career.
If I could just comment on the American Chemical Society, there's a student club, as Megan was talking about. And, you know, one of the things I think that's really nice about those kinds of clubs, too, is it gives the younger students, the incoming freshmen, an opportunity to meet the upperclassmen. And there's this real mentoring that goes on in those kind of clubs as well, in terms of, yeah, that professor always asks that kind of questions. They, you know, do this kind of thing that will help you. Dr. Malnicki in the labs does this. There's an awful lot of support for each other that goes on in those clubs too. And yes, we do blow up things every year outside of Golisano. Okay, we do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We do have a question for you, Dr. McCourt. If a student is going to be a major in biochemistry, do you happen to know what some common minors are that they could take?
They can take anything. I have biochemistry majors that have minors in philosophy, minors in religion, history, math, computer science. I have a couple of kids that have done forensics, because there's some interesting forensics component to that. So while the chemistry classes, chemistry in some sense is fairly rigid. You know, you take certain things every year, but there's always a certain opportunity to fit in those minor classes. Pick something that you really like. I like history a lot. I would always encourage people to do history. Yeah, absolutely. You can do whatever you like. There's always some time for that.
That's great. So we also have another question. Can anyone join the student newspaper, and do you have to have a connection with it? So I don't know if anyone wants to take this, I can also take it. So anyone can really join any club. You guys are really highly encouraged to join anything that interests you. Even if you just want to sign up for a club to get more information on it, you can do that during the club fair. And then if, let's say, you maybe get some emails or you attend a meeting and you're not really that interested in it anymore, that's okay too. We just really recommend you guys to just sign up for at least something, if not 2 different clubs, just so you guys can sort of get some information, we have students that sign up for every club on campus and just to get as much info as they can. And that's okay too. So if it's something that you are interested in, you are more than welcome to try and join it and then get as involved in it as you would like.
To that question, Megan, yeah, any major can join the Niagara Wire in any job that they're interested in. You're an English major, you want to do proofreading, right? You're a communication media studies, you want to do journalism. You're just like you're a history major and you love to write. You like sports or entertainment. Yeah, join the Niagara Wire staff.
Thank you. Yeah, the Niagara Wire is really awesome. You'll get a lot of different insights and some tips and tricks that you'll learn and be able to sort of carry with you as well throughout your time at Niagara. We have another question for Adriano. Do you happen to know some common minors for theater students?
Yeah, absolutely. The most common minors that our performance and design and production majors will take, number one, if you're a performance major, the most common minor is design and production, ironically, because there's a lot of performance majors who have interest in maybe costume technology or lighting design, and they can minor in design and production and add that additional skill set to their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their knowledge and experience, and ultimately make them more marketable. Another one that's incredibly popular is American Sign Language, especially because we're in the business of communication and we want to know as many ways as we can communicate as possible. And it's very important. There's a lot of professional theaters, whether you're going to professional theater in Buffalo or New York or Shaw or Stratford, and many of them are interpreted, at least 2 or 3 performances a week. So it's something that our students are really, really passionate about. Aside from that, it's everywhere. We've had students minor in everything. I will add to that as well, with our degree, it is a BFA program, performance, design and production, and theater specialization, and students can double major with us. A lot of people think that the conservatory curriculum that we have makes it impossible to double major, when in reality, it's actually quite simple. There are only 2 majors, and Dr. Sharon Watkinson, who is now retired and has been with us for 50 years, has made these double majors work with almost every other major on campus. Some will require a little bit more time than others, but the ones that are really the most difficult, number one is nursing, because those students are, in practice starting freshman year 3 days a week, and we'll never see them. And the second one is education. However, in December, we were just approved for our first master's degree, partnering with the College of Education, and it's a 4+1 master's in theater education with a New York State teaching certificate. It's phenomenal. There are not many of these programs in our region, and the fact that we have it is wonderful. So we're really excited about that as well. But with regard to minors, it's anything. A lot of folks do go to communications as well, and English.
Great, thank you so much. So I think that a common theme here is maybe finding out what minors might be best suitable. So Dr. Piputera, I'm going to bring this over to you. So we have 2 questions, common minors for communications and then common minors for sociology. One thing that I will say to the students on here as well is you can also pick up more than 1 minor if you would like. For an example, my degree at Niagara was in tourism and event planning management. I had a minor in communications, and I also had a minor in human resource management. You might say those are all like very different things. I had a method to my madness, because then I went on to get a 4+1 in the College of Business and Human Resource Management and Strategic Management. And I just really love talking to people, and I like the photography side as well with communications. So I picked that up just for myself so I could take some other classes that I was interested in as well. So Pete, if you would like to answer any common minors for communications and common minors for sociology, that would be great.
Sure. So just to give you a sense of the data, Each year we collect this, we survey our graduating seniors in arts and sciences. The other colleges do too. Year in and year out, I've been dean here for almost 4 years now. Close to 75% of our graduates, sometimes higher, will complete at least one minor. And as Megan said, some students that I've known have done 2 or even 3 minors. So just the sense of the data, you're seeing that a large majority, right, the vast majority of our graduates are leaving here with at least 1 minor. In terms of the common minors for communication, media studies, and sociology, what I've seen both as dean and as a faculty member here, sociology, a lot of those majors do minors or double majors in criminal justice. That seems to be a very natural marriage between those 2 disciplines. I've also known many psychology students when I was a professor who were a psychology major and a sociology minor, and vice versa, right? Communication media studies, again, I've seen a lot of those students combine communication media studies with psychology. Seems to be whether it's an interest that student had or whatever it would be. And yeah, so it's really, I think it's up to you, you know, what are you interested in when you get to Niagara and you're a communication media studies major, and as Dr. McCourt said, you really love history, right? So you're going to pick up a minor in history just to add that to your skill set before you graduate.
Thank you very much. And so Braden, I will answer your question, the second tail end of that. So what is the workload that someone can expect with a double minor? So it really does depend too on what minors you sort of pick together. When you start here at Niagara, you'll have what's called a curriculum card, which you will be able to sit down and go over with your academic advisor. And there are some classes, for an example, if you were like myself in hospitality and hotel management in that major, and I picked up a communications minor, some of my communications classes actually filled into a few different areas on my curriculum card. So with that being said, it wouldn't be additional work as you would be taking classes to fill in those areas with or without a minor. If you want to pick up 2 minors, you might have some additional work, but it won't be anything where you feel so overwhelmed that you won't be able to handle it. Again, everyone here at Niagara has their own academic advisor, and those are people who you can go to at least once a semester that you will meet with, but also if you wanted to maybe add something or drop something, they are your outlet to talk about classes and next steps as well. You guys, for an example, a theater student wouldn't have an academic advisor in hotel or hospitality. You guys will have somebody within your own college and within your major who will be able to help you with all of that. I don't know if anyone wants to add any more onto that, but if you would like to, please feel free.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you think now that you are interested in a particular minor, 2 minors, 3 minors, a double major, mention that to your academic advisor now. You know, even if you're saying, I'm not declaring, you don't have to declare it now, but at least to say, you know, I have an interest in this and this and this, and I'm not really sure what's the way to go. Well, that's the whole reason why you have an academic advisor. Someone who you can have those conversations with, that you can talk to and say, you know, I really like this, but I really like this, but I don't know if I want to do that. And they might say, hey, you know what, why don't we try taking this class? Because this might introduce you to that minor, but it will count for something. And if you decide you don't like it, it's still going to count on a curriculum card, but you'll at least know that's not an area you want to pursue. Or, yeah, it really is. Let's go further with it. So I think if you're thinking about those thoughts now, hang on to them, tuck them away, write them down. And then during your summer orientation, when you're introduced to your advisor, have that conversation. You know, that's at least how we feel about it. You know, we may not say, hey, let's get you started on your minors in your first semester of your first year, but at least having that in your file, we know this is something that you're interested in. We can kind of help you craft your path towards achieving those goals.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that cleared up a lot of air for some of the students as well. So I know you guys started it, putting some questions in there. Do we have any more? Does anyone have questions maybe about double majoring? Now would be a good time to ask that too, if you were sort of in between some things. A lot of students here at NU do double major as well if you are really interested in two separate areas. And like Adriano had said about having a 4+1 program, also too in the College of Arts and Sciences, we have some as well. There are also some within our other colleges too, if you did perhaps want to pursue something else as well after you get your bachelor's degree. We do have question, are minors included in tuition costs or are they under additional costs? Also, how late can you choose to take a minor? So I'll answer the first part and maybe Pete or Adriano if you want to answer the second. So yes, minors are included in your cost of tuition. So if it's something that you would like to do, you don't have to pay extra to do it. Another thing, just a quick blurb I'll put in there, if you guys do decide to do a 4+1, your first set of MBA courses are also included in an undergraduate tuition that you take your senior year. That's not something you need to figure out right away. If you'd like to do that, you can also wait. So going on to the minors, how late can you choose to add or take a minor?
Yeah, I can speak to that. I mean, I've known students that didn't declare a minor until their senior year. That didn't mean they weren't pursuing a minor. They just didn't go on to MyNU and check the box and say, yeah, I want to be a biochemistry minor. So many students that are doing a minor, they already know what the minor requirements are. It's all spelled out in our university catalog. They can come to my office and work with our advisors. They can work with the department chair in that minor program. So they have a roadmap pretty much from the get-go of what they need. Typically it's 5 courses, what they need to complete that academic minor. When they go ahead and sort of click the box on MyNU that says, now I'm a minor in sociology, that's up to the student. And they can work with us on, advisement related questions. So yeah, the short answer is as late as senior year, as long as you've got those courses completed, as you know, Megan, you're really good to go.
Yeah, I know when I was a student in Niagara, I had a huge interest in history as well, which serves me really well as a fight director now because we study historical martial arts and cultures and blending those together for historical accuracy on stage. And it wasn't until I went for my senior check that they're like, you have a minor in history. And I was like, really? Great, thanks. I was just taking the history classes because I liked them and I had the electives to do it. So yeah, as Dr. Buteris said, it's, and I think what's really important is, as he's mentioned, is connect with your advisor early. They'll help you on that path. You don't have to declare it right away, but connect with them early to have that conversation.
If I can just add too, the biology and the biochemistry kids and the chemistry kids, there's a core courses that they take in each other's discipline. So every biochemistry student ends up having a biology minor, and every bio major has a chemistry minor. It's just sort of the way that ends up happening because of the nature of the courses.
Yeah, that's what I got a chemistry minor very early on. I think I declared it my sophomore year. And then when I went for my senior checks last semester, they're like, you have opportunity, you have some space, you can take some other classes, what ones might you be interested in? And I realized I was like majority of the way to my leadership major minor, just because of some courses I wanted to take, like public speaking or a management class. Was very useful classes no matter what major you're in. And I'm like, oh, I only have to take 2 more classes. So I just added those to my last semester so that I picked up my leadership minor. I believe it was the beginning of this semester. I actually declared it. So my very last semester, I declared my second minor. So it just really depends.
Thank you. That's awesome. I hope that really helps answer some questions for you guys. I know it's a lot of information and you guys don't have to decide right away, clearly. So you do have some time. And as well, like Adriano said, using your advisors, you can also use them to ask, maybe to have them help you pick a minor. If you don't really know, they can help sort of create a path for you for what minor might suit you best or something that you might be really interested in. And like Megan said, sometimes you don't have to take a minor directly related to your major, because minors, some of them are, the classes that you take can be relatable just to your guys' everyday life as well. All right, so do we have any other questions? I haven't seen any sort of filtrate through. If not, does anyone have any closing remarks or anything that they would like to say at the very end?
Yeah, if it's okay.
Oh, yes, of course.
You know, one of the things that we tell a lot of incoming students in our NUB class, NU Beginnings, as we talk about, we try to really stress to get involved in campus life. And what's really extraordinary about the programs here at NU, both campus activities and all of the clubs and organizations here, is they really, really work hard to be as inclusive as possible. Whether you're a resident on campus, whether you are a commuter because you live off campus and you're commuting in every day, they have programming designed for everyone, you know. So we can't stress enough, get involved. Even if it's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the movie night tonight just to check it out. Go, get involved and get that experience. You know, here comes the plug. At Niagara University Theater, which is the producing arm of our department, we produce 8 shows during the academic year. And every student at Niagara University is able to audition for those productions, but also with your activities fee, you get 1 ticket to every production we produce. So you get 8 tickets right out of the gate to come to see one of our shows. And it's something fun to do. And we're actually in conversations right now to sort of update and renovate a new cabaret space, which is really exciting for us to be hanging out after shows. And it's a great opportunity to say, hey, wow, they're doing the musical Legally Blonde. Let's go check it out tonight. You already have the ticket. It doesn't cost you anything because you already paid for it. So get involved. You know, if there's an interest you really like or something you're curious about, just go, get involved. So that's my plug.
Thank you, Adriano. Yeah. I can definitely attest to that. Is if you guys get involved, or if maybe you need somebody to come get involved with you, and admissions, we're always willing to go with you guys to anything. There are also a lot of students that work even in our office who would love to bring you guys along. Even if you're like, you know, maybe my friends don't want to go, but I don't want to go alone, there's always someone on our campus who will go with you as well.
If I could just add one more thing, from my perspective as a faculty member, we work really hard to position our students for great success, not only in their time at Niagara, but in their time post-Niagara. We're very conscious of the cost of education, and we're very, very conscious of making sure that you make good choices to further your ultimate career goals at the end. We're very, very conscious of that, so we work very hard on that.
Yes,
and that's where research comes in as well. That's it.
Thank you very much. Well, if nobody has any other questions or anything, then we will conclude tonight's event. Thank you all again for joining us. And if you need to get in contact with anyone, whether it's your admissions advisor, which you guys should have heard from us at the time, whether it's somebody within your college, please feel free to reach out. And we really, really look forward to seeing everybody back on campus in the fall, and just sort of having our campus come back to life again. We also hope that you guys, you and your families and friends, are staying safe and healthy during this time as well. All right, well, thank you everybody, and I hope that you all have a nice rest of your night.
Thanks everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.